Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, Betsy. Whoa. Oh, good thing I moved my foot. So we're gonna get into here. We wanna get the intercooler off. And once we get the intercooler off, then we'll be able to start unbolting the bell housing, getting a heat shield off of the turbo, because we have to drop the downpipe and the exhaust. There's a screw here and a screw here. Those are Phillips or they're wrench. So we got the intercooler out. We've got the transmission here. We got to get this dog bone out. This ground cable, slave cylinder, we're just going to unbolt from the tranny. We got to pull the starter out. We got to pull this another ground cable out. We're going to take this bracket off because it's kind of in the way. And then we're going to take this shield off to get us to the bolts that hold the downpipe on. Then we're going to undo the downpipe because the exhaust is in the way of getting the transmission out. This guy, so we got one here, one here. I don't know, those are, we might have a rusty little trouble there. All right, came a little bit better, easier. Well, now you can see I'm at the, I got the guard off, I got that shield off. There's a bunch of broken ones, but once I get this down, so we'll just get the old one out and get it ready for a new one. Oh, this is nice. This bracket comes off and we can fix those bolts that broke off. So that's good. So if you break some of the bolts on the heat shield, don't worry about it because you can get at the stuff to fix them. All right, this hanger here is kind of to hold it up into place while you get everything set up. So we just got to get him out of there. So I have to go up and then over. It's not being very friendly right now. Okay, so what you saw me do was raise it up, and then I just got in here and pried that back, and then it came back, right? So now if I would go up with this, it would snap back in. So let's do this real time again. You see it climbing in? So it's gonna pop over in a minute, see? So now what I did was I raised it up with this, then I got my screwdriver right here and pried this back and then lowered this. That worked out really perfect without putting any strain on too much stuff, and there we go. And that's how we do that. Well, that's how I did it. So now I believe I could take the bumpers off the back side, and then this whole thing can start sliding down. I can pull it away from the turbo this way, and then this will all come down. So now I'm gonna lower this. That's already loose. And I'll lower this. So this is coming down. And then I'll pull. Yep, so I'm pulling off of the turbo. We're doing all right. Just gotta take our time. Sometimes I have a problem taking my time. It's coming down nice, she's clear. Things are flowing good. Woo! Everything's looking here. That looks good, no cracks. Okay, the exhaust is down. I have it on jack stands back here in the back of the vehicle. They put in those little frickin' probably 6mm, maybe 4mm bolts to hold the heat shields together. They break, so now I'm gonna be drilling them out and retapping and trying to get something else in there. So now we're gonna pop off these tie rod ends. We'll just go up here by the ball joint, loosen that, pop that off. We'll drift that pin out, and we'll put the axles down. Then we'll get the engine hoist, or not the engine hoist, the tranny jack. We'll get all the plugs disconnected. We'll disconnect the shift linkage, get this drive shaft out of there, and then we'll pull this thing. I'll tell you what, I cannot get these off with my 1/2-inch gun. I cannot believe how tight those are. So I went back and I got the 3/4 gun, which will knock them loose, but you'd never be able to change these on the side of the road. Oh my gosh. That is really tight. Wow. Okay, now it's time to drive that pin out of there, and my drive pin punches and me, we have a kind of a love-hate relationship. Sometimes my drive pin punches turn into those. I don't know exactly why that's like that. And this one's gonna be too short, but I'll get it started. You need to be able to hit it really square and then just drive them out of there. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go all the way with this one because it's tapered. I may have to go to the grinder and modify this a little. Yeah, okay. I gotta go grind this so I can get this fully through there. Oof, and that's a lot of grinding. Or I'm gonna go look for a different punch. But I'm gonna knock this one out also. Should show me how far I gotta go. I don't think it's far. I'm gonna try modifying that. Ta-da, all modified. Drive him out. Okay, that should be perfect. And then, just pop it, yeah. Split out of there, perfect. We'll move him out of the way. Good. Okay, next step, we'll get the rest of the hardware. This bolt to this bolt. And we'll get the 3 on this side. All right, now that we have the axles off, we're going upstairs, we're gonna disconnect the rest of the wires, and then we're gonna pull the pin that actually holds the throw-out bearing, because this is a pull type clutch, not a push type clutch. And we'll see what that means. All right, stick around, we're coming down, and we're going upstairs. So then you get these 3 wires. So now we're gonna detach the slave cylinder. I got those 2 fellas, that one and that one. Look like 12s. You guys can sit right there while I struggle through that. And we're almost to story time. Pull this guy out of the way. And I think what we'll do is perhaps just, well, I mean, you can lay him right there, huh? Looks like he'll stay, right? Put him like that, sure. Then, this is the best part. This part brings me a fond memory. That is just a plug. And it uses a 12mm or a 10mm hex. And there's a pin that goes through here that holds this throw-out bearing. And because the throw-out bearing has an internal locker that locks into the clutch, you have to pull that pin out in order to separate the transmission from the engine. Now, the very first one I did on a 2006, I did not know that. So I tried to separate it, and I could get it separated kind of far, but what I ultimately had to do was I had to go through this access panel and I unbolted the clutch pack from the flywheel. I didn't know any better. I had pry bars in here, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. Separated it, and then I learned valuable lesson. Take that 10mm out of there, and then you can pull that axle shaft or pin or whatever you want to call it out of there. And out it comes. That guy right there. This is like super tiny. But yeah, but that goes in there. Yep. Okay, here we go. That's the pin. And she's dry. Very dry. So it's like this is it's a 6mm that goes right into that hole, and this is what's in there. This one is pretty crusty. Came out kind of hard, not a lot of grease on it. Now we're gonna be safe. We'll pull this out of the way. And a nut. So a nut and a bracket. Pull that guy out of there, and then this should just slide off. Yep. Oh, but there's this little guy, so we gotta just give him a little squeeze to pop him out of there and not break. All right, so this little piece, we're just gonna give him a little squeezer. There we go. Perfect. Now we've got that room. All right, clear, good. This is clear. I don't want to take the dipstick out, but I want to take the dipstick out and put something over the top of that. I'm actually gonna stick this glove in here. Now I know I got this bent thing. So that keeps that dipstick out of the way, and then there's a whole glove, the whole rubber glove. Not tore, not broke, not nothing, so it'll pull out. Good. Now we can pull these 10s out. I've just got to mark this, and then we'll get in there. There might be 12s, I don't know. But they're captured here, and they're nuts on the back. All right, let's see how this goes. Yeah, that's 10. Okay. All right. I think before I take this last screw out, I'm gonna undo this. Undo these right here, this carrier, and then I'll be able to pull everything out. See what we get. I bet you this thing swings down. Yep, it's swinging down. Okay. All right. Okay, I pulled that on. Okay, there she is. Now I think we're gonna see, no, because it was low on transmission fluid. So let's look up front there. Okay, and then all we're doing is just pulling this out, and that's it. Comes out really easy. Last but not least, I need to get the linkages from there and the one above it for the shifting. Alrighty, we'll take the last one down for the hanger. So this last bolt here brings this down. So now we have the trans supported by the jack and on the machine here and on the engine. So I'm gonna try and push up on here and bring everything back a little. Bring this back to there, okay? That's better. So I'm gonna go up and try working that engine or that transmission off of there and get the dowel pins freed. So the little dowel pins, those are they get corroded. The dissimilar metals. We should see this whole thing kind of roll back. Okay, we're gonna throw some heat on those pins. Okay, I'm trying to get things to heat and contract, and then we'll give it a wiggle to see if it comes apart. I just don't want to lose that. No, not yet. So now we're just gonna do the other side. Just try and heat that up. Well, there might be a little spot for a pry bar. Yeah, we're just gonna keep working this back and forth. It's stubborn, that's for sure. We'll pull you back here because I need to be in there working. All right, do some wiggling and waddling. So it's tough. It's tough. This one is a little more stuck than normal, but we'll keep working it open. We'll get there. Okay, we got her moving. Now we just gotta get her straightened out. Okay. Oh, I keep bumping my head. I keep bumping my head. It hurts. Let's see if I can. The problem, she doesn't want to give up the one side. Let's bring you over here once for a little, see what I'm doing. It's a little bit of a tricky pain in the hind end. So that's where I'm working. Run this pry bar into here, right there. And I'm gonna try and all right, we're getting there. So you can see where I'm working that in. All right, I'm gonna pull you back out of here. We want to see that stud come out this side, and the stud's back in, but it's because I'm wiggling it back and forth. So let's see what we got here. Oh, watch out for that. Okay, popped out. It popped out. I wiggled it and it popped out. All right, so now we're just on those bottom studs. Okay, and she's coming right back real nice. Okay, what am I gonna do with this guy? Let's put him over there. There we go. So now I'm pulling it back some more. I'm excited. So we'll come back. Okay, we're almost out, so we can start dropping down. Okay, are we clear? We'll go down a little bit more. Okay, and then come back a little more. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, right here, we just got a little on the stud there. There, now it's off the studs. Yeah, we just had to bring a little pry bar to get her back. I think the next time I do one of these, I'm taking the whole motor out. The motor out seems easier. Okay, so the problem now is I got so much weight on the front. Yeah, everything's clear. This is gonna be hard because I need to bring this forward and we're gonna lose that board. Okay, and that's okay. We can let that board go because now we're better. Now I'm a bit happier with that. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, Betsy. Whoa, Betsy. Whoa, Betsy. Oh, Betsy. Oh, Betsy. Oh, you guys know who Betsy is? Me neither. But whoa. Oh, wow. That was almost a tough one. Next time, I should have a strap around that. That was kind of unnerving. I mean, I've had lots of stuff up that high. Here's what I think. I really think it would be easier to pull the motor. But now I'll be able to get in, drill out these little screws that broke off, heat shield screws. We'll take this off, we'll check the flywheel. That was sucky. That'll hold there, we're good to go. Had I had that motor a little bit tipped, it probably would have been good. So what I'll do is I'll put my transverse engine mount up there before I put this back in, and then I'll run the motor front end up a little so we could kind of go up at it like this, up at an angle. But good, so we got her out. So we're gonna inspect the snout here. I have had, what was it? I think it was a 2004 Forester that actually had this snout cracked. And I put they make a bushing, oversized bushing, and then you get an oversized throw-out bearing that goes on. It worked really well. But this one looks good. The transmission, the gear lube in here was low on the stick. So I didn't get any fluid running out the back. Otherwise, everything looks good. So now we're gonna go into here and we're gonna bring this down so that I can reach it. Get the clutch out of there. We'll check the flywheel to make sure it's not all glazed over. We'll remove the flywheel, and more than likely we're gonna do the rear main. We'll check all that setup. So let's bring this down a little bit. Oh, good thing I moved my foot. Yeah, we're down to the rivets. So the clutch is done. We look at this baby. Yeah, it's junk. It's glazed over. I shouldn't say, yeah, it's grooved. All right, I'm gonna pop these all out. All right. All right, that rear main doesn't look like it's leaking. Okay, we're not looking too bad here. This rear main is not leaking. This cover's not, and this cover's not. All right, let's call the owner. So I'm gonna make a list. So it's gonna be exhaust to turbo gasket. It's gonna be throw-out bearing. It's gonna be a flywheel. More than likely, I really should do the rear main, but it shows no signs of leak. Write that down, find out what the cost is on the stuff, and then let the guy know. All right, good day.